To list everything that's gone wrong since Urban Meyer got this job. But if you've been following the news for the past week, you know public reprimand by the owner, didn't fly home with his team. I'm not saying he's one and done, but it's not crazy to think it could happen.
Yes, I don't think it's crazy to think he might not make it all the way through the season. Next stop, Chicago. If I were to say Justin Fields is going to save Matt Nagy's job, would that be an overreaction?
I think that is an overreaction because I think there's a lot more wrong with the Bears offense than Justin Fields is going to be able to fix as a rookie quarterback. We also have a lot of recent history of coaches with rookie quarterbacks losing their jobs after the first season. A lot of people think that might protect him. I don't think there's a lot of history to back that up.
All right, and then one more, because Sunday night we got a great one, Bills-Chiefs. So if I were to say the Bills are the best team in the AFC and will win in Kansas City, would that be an overreaction?
No, it would not. I do believe the Bills are the best team in the AFC. They were my pick to win the AFC before the season. Other than week one, they have played like it, and I think they'll play like it on Sunday night. They're going to be motivated. This is the team that knocked them out last year. It's a big deal to them. I think the Bills are going to win that game.
Well, let me actually see what the guys think. Nico, get in here. You're supposed to stand over there next to Graziano.
I'll go next.
Make
I'll
him
go over
look
here.
small, not
Come on,
me.
I'll go over here. It's okay.
He just said he's got the Bills knocking off the Chiefs on Sunday night. How do you see that game?
I don't see that happening. I think the Chiefs are going to get it done. They're the number one ranked offense in efficiency. The Bills are 20th. So when you look at the Chiefs, their ability to move the ball efficiently, that's how I think this game's going to go. And they're at home. And I played at Arrowhead. It's one of the loudest places. The environment is insane. So I'm going Chiefs all day.
What in particular makes it so hard to play there?
Well, communication offensively. So the Bills are going to come into a loud environment. And then when they're in offense trying to get their silent count going, the defense, Kansas City's defense, is going to have to play better, but have to use that atmosphere to their advantage on the snap count.
Chiefs defense has really struggled. The Bills have scored 118 points in their last 3 games and given up just 21. Sacho, how do you see this game?
Yeah, I see the Chiefs winning this game because of Patrick Mahomes, that offense. But let's not downplay how great the Buffalo Bills defense has been, and they are, right? What makes them so good is their teamwork, their unity. They've been together, that same team, the same players, the same coaches for a few years now. I remember I played in Buffalo for training camp, right? Leslie Frazier's defensive coordinator, Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde. All these guys are ball players. They have a specific, unique culture that they build. They had 4 interceptions last week by 4 different players. The first team since the 2000 Ravens to have 2 shutout wins in their first 4 games. So this defense is playing at a dominant level. But I just go back to Kansas City and those weapons they have offensively. I don't think the Bills will be able to overcome it.
Well, he's making a case for just how good Buffalo is, and then tells me he thinks Kansas City is going to win.
Both teams are examples of continuity, coaching staff and roster-wise, but Kansas City's defense has not been healthy. I mean, Frank Clark's been in and out of the lineup. They're not healthy on the back end. If this is a shootout, I think Buffalo's better equipped to be the last one standing.
If this is a shootout, he's saying he likes Josh Allen over Mahomes. Who do you like in a shootout, Allen or Mahomes?
You got to go with the cheetah, the fastest guy in the NFL.
That's true.
So Tyreek, when they're feeding him the ball, watch out because he's so explosive.
I don't think Buffalo's game plan for Tyreek Hill is going to be what Philadelphia's was last week.
No. Let's give him 4 touchdowns. Yeah.
I'll say this. I think there's also a way of looking at this thing. This could be a huge night for Josh Allen, MVP possibilities. If he were to beat Mahomes in a shootout, then I think he becomes the leading candidate for that. In the meantime, let's do what's your number here. And Acho, I'm starting with you. How many touchdown passes for Big Ben against Denver? Sacho.
I'm going 1. Denver's defense under Vic Fangio has been dominant. Ben Roethlisberger has not been dominant. I think he's getting at most 1 passing touchdown against the Broncos defense. I think he'll be sacked a few times, at least 3 times, and he will not win that game.
That's a tough matchup. Graziano, how many total touchdowns for Kyler Murray against San Francisco?
I'm going to say 2, which sounds like a low number the way Kyler Murray's been playing, but I kind of feel like San Francisco is going to stand up in this one. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull off the upset, but I think they're going to be able to keep it close with that defense and that run game of theirs, even if the rookie Trey Lance is the starter.
Ninkovich, Green Bay, Cincinnati. How many touchdown passes for Aaron Rodgers against the Bengals?
Look, I know it's Aaron Rodgers. I'm going 2. Nothing crazy here. But the Bengals, they're 8th in defense right now, ranked defensively in the NFL. So they're not getting the credit that they deserve. They go out, they get Trey Hendrickson as the defensive end. He's having a great season. So I'm going with 2. I'm not going any higher than that. I know it's Aaron Rodgers, but Cincinnati.
This is a significant night because Russell wasn't able to finish the second half. He's got a badly sprained finger that we need to figure out. There's work to be done in assessing all of that. Russell's one of the great healers of all time, and he'll do whatever he can to get back as soon as absolutely possible.
All right, and so first things first, Dan Graziano, what are we hearing about the finger?
Well, it's not good. I mean, there's concern in Seattle. He couldn't finish the game. And based on Russell Wilson's history, that tells you that this is not a matter of could he tolerate the pain. It's a matter of could he throw the ball? Could he grip the ball? And the answer turned out to be no. So they have 10 days before their next game. So that's a good thing. And they were happy, obviously, with the way Geno Smith looked. But the fact that Russell Wilson, who's never, ever missed a game in 10 years in the NFL, couldn't finish this one is cause for concern.
He has the league's longest Iron Man streak, for what that's worth. They play Pittsburgh, as you say, a week from Sunday. Ninko, what does this injury mean for Seattle?
It looks like their season's not going to go the way they want it to. Impending doom, possibly, because he is basically that whole team. And when you lose him for possibly a few games here in that division, they can't afford to lose any more football games. So as a guy that has to grip that ball, you got to hang on to it. This is going to be a tough injury because a jam finger, especially the middle finger, he has to be able to grip that ball to be able to throw it.
You were telling us there's another position.
Yeah, the long snapper. So I long snapped for a long time, and that's the reason why they don't play other positions, because if you jam a finger, if you do something to a finger, that affects your ability to grip that football, and that's vital. To throw the football and snap it, you have to be able to grip it.
A week removed from a big sort of in the division win against San Francisco. Now all of a sudden we're in some trouble here, Sacho, and it's the division that's the problem, right?
It really is. Look at a team like the Arizona Cardinals, the only undefeated team in the NFL. They are rising and rising fast. We also know that San Francisco is a force to be reckoned with. And so, and the LA Rams are winning. And so, if you think about it, I'm a huge advocate of saying, hey, early games don't matter as much. They remember what you do in December. The only issue is when you're the Seattle Seahawks right now, you're at the bottom of the division. It's not getting any easier. So these losses, if Russell Wilson doesn't play, they matter, and they matter a lot. That's number one. Number two, to Nico's point, in practice, Bruce Arians was my coach. He would always say, stay away from the quarterback for reasons just like that. A quarterback hits his hand on a helmet or on a defender's hand, and now he's injured for a significant period of time. And so this is a huge deal, as we all know, for Russell Wilson, but an even bigger deal for the Seattle Seahawks.
And Graz, I don't mean to jump ahead by jumping backwards here, but I'm thinking back to this offseason of some discontent for Russell Wilson, and we were talking about, will the events of this year lead to his potentially leaving? How does that play into this conversation?
I think there's been a sense all along that if Seattle's season didn't go well and there was more Russell Wilson discontent beyond what we saw this past offseason, that it was possible he would not return there next year, that they would move on from him, trade him, etc. The one thing I don't think anyone did consider was the possibility that their season didn't go well because Russell Wilson got hurt. We've never seen that. So if that's the reason, you wonder how that affects those possibilities. But obviously, if this thing continues to spiral for Seattle, there could be big changes on that front in the offseason.
Absolutely. We have a lot to go before we get to that, so we'll figure that out as we go. And more on this game. But let's talk about another banged-up quarterback, and that's the one in Cleveland. So the Browns are 3-1, but it's not been a great start for Baker Mayfield. Week 2 against Houston, he injured his non-throwing shoulder making a tackle. Yesterday, we learned he has a partially torn labrum. So, through 4 weeks, Mayfield has completed just under 66% of his throws, 935 yards, just 2 touchdowns, 2 picks.